I still want to die thinking about that. If you're interested to know what I'm talking about, please watch to the very end. My name is Sarah Carter, and I am here looking to refine myself and become a better person through personal growth, self-development, and financial education. If you'd like to subscribe and stick around for the journey, please do so, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. In the past, I used to be very humiliated every time someone brought up something that was embarrassing, and that makes sense. We don't like feeling embarrassed or humiliated because it usually means we looked like an idiot. However, I changed my mindset, of course, because it's me and it's all about mindset, but I changed my mindset to something that was just laugh it off and find out the lesson from this scenario. I've been lucky to never have any giant public humiliations, except for one time when I was 13, but I'm gonna leave that story at the end because I don't think many people watch my videos till the end, which means that less people then hear about that. It's just a fact of life that there are going to be embarrassing and awkward moments. The first story is cringy. The second story, you'll be like, yeah, that's pretty embarrassing and super awkward. Why would you say that? And then the third one is just downright mortifying. And the bonus one is the one for me at 13. So stick around if you'd like to hear some of the things I've learned in the past while. These stories are going to be called A Girl Named Pumpkin, You Were Stabbed in the Neck in a Past Life, and finally, Customer Service. And without further ado, let us start this horrifying experience of reliving my embarrassments. A Girl Called Pumpkin. This one is pretty cringy because it was an essay that I wrote for my 12th grade creative writing teacher. The lesson I learned from it was don't believe everything you feel. I didn't even realize I'd learned this lesson until I found this earlier this week and was reminded of just how incredible of a writer I thought I was and how much I really wasn't. I remember writing this story thinking, wow, Mrs. Davy is just gonna think I'm a creative genius. This story is strong, it's powerful, it's about survival. But then it didn't come together quite like I wanted, but I submitted it anyway. And when I found it and reread it, I wanted to burn it. As a kid, I had a lot of emotions. Okay, as an adult, I have a lot of emotions. But as a kid, I didn't know how to control them yet, and I was very emotional and just maybe a little bit, what would be the right word for this? Dramatic? I had felt for a long time that I had been abandoned by my father. I had not been. At all. But I actually wrote this story from his perspective. What I thought at 18 was a super poignant tale about childhood struggle and overcoming adversity and loss. It was actually just a really awkward diary entry of a whiny, spoiled brat. The first time I left her and her newborn sister, it was for Navy purposes. A 4-month tour throughout the coasts of India, Asia, and such. That doesn't even make sense. I would miss the girls, but their mother was picking custody fights again, and I didn't have the effort to deal with it. Over the tour, I took pictures and bought little paper fans and authentic penny whistles for them. Toys their mom wouldn't want them playing with for whatever reason. My dad is a fantastic dad, like seriously up there on the cool scale. He taught me how to shoot pop cans and then later grouse so we could have a spontaneous dinner. He helped me buy my very first snowboard, and he let me and my sister at the ages of 10 and 11 sleep under the stars in the middle of winter because the igloo was too full. That sounds like a Canadian joke, but I swear to you, it's real. It's a legit story. The lesson I learned from this, like I said, was not to believe everything I feel. At 18, I was not the best guide for myself. To finish up this whole story, I feel so awkward and embarrassed that I ever wrote it and that I ever submitted it because Mrs. Davy was my second favorite teacher and she just didn't deserve that. She should not have had to read that. And now for the second story. You were stabbed in the neck in a past life. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to begin thinking about this one. It is so awkward. The lesson I learned with this one is to think before you speak, and then sometimes just don't speak. This happened a few years ago, and I was going home to visit family. I had a few things working against me. First of all, I had an early flight home. Second of all, I'd been intrigued about past lives and just interested in it. I just thought, I'll check it out. So I think I was reading a story about that, and I'm pretty sure that there was a story of like a kid who he had a knife wound or something, and then later on he passed away at like 4 or 5. It was really sad. And then his parents got pregnant like 3 years later. The kid was born with the same scar from his brother's wound. And when this kid was like 4 or 5, he just randomly looks up at his mom and goes, I remember when you were my mommy before, but I had to go. But I wanted to come back, so they let me. So, backstory complete. My mom picks me up from the airport. We drive to this coffee shop to go say hello to my sister. And the boss is there with her 3-year-old son or 4-year-old son. Now, I used to know these people pretty well. I worked with them, but I was still only ever just an employee. Their kid had no idea who I was. I hadn't seen him since he was a baby, and he has a birthmark on his neck. And I looked at him and I said, oh, that's so cool. You have a birthmark on your neck. Did you know that's probably where you were stabbed in a past life? And then to try to cover up what I just said to this toddler, I just continued. Oh, no, it's okay. The birthmarks are a really cool thing, and it's usually an indication of how you were killed. Please stop talking. Lesson learned, just think before you speak. Finally, number 3. This one is pretty mortifying. This is the story that has gotten me into BuzzFeed articles and gave me 2,500 thumbs up or upvotes on Reddit.
I'm kind of a big deal. People know me.
Speaking of, please give this video a thumbs up. So this story takes place shortly after I moved into the city, which is essentially about 6 years ago now. I had just started my second job, still serving, and again, I had read something on the internet and it failed me. Shocking. I had read the whole thing about how saying thank you for waiting rather than I'm sorry for the wait made people feel not a big deal about waiting. They're like, it wasn't even that long. I had a really busy lunch rush and I wanted to make people feel a little happier and less inconvenienced by the wait of taking their bills. So I went to bring a bill to a table of 2 men who were definitely regulars. I'd seen them there probably 3 times and I'd worked through 5 shifts. As a server, generally, I would say, thank you so much for coming. In my head, I thought I might change the game, and this was so spontaneous, and I thought I should say, thank you for letting me serve you. No, don't say that. Well, it became more memorable than I had ever intended, because the words that left my mouth were, all right, thanks for letting me come.
Yeah, our pleasure.
Kill me. Lesson learned. Often in life, you are going to say weird things. They're going to humiliate you, and they might make you want to quit your job, change your name, and move to another country, or maybe just go jump in the deepest part of the ocean and never resurface. But more often than not, you just have to laugh it off and move on. Sorry if the lighting is changing. The sun is rising out there, and it's a little inconvenient. I don't really know what to do about it. Thankfully, I don't really get too many of these embarrassing moments. I think being homeschooled just kind of took care of that for me. And honestly, up until the customer service story, my last humiliating experience was at 13. We were at the pool and I decided I was gonna go up to the high diving board and do a front flip off. Well, just as I was about to do it, my sister yelled, "Everyone look! Sarah's gonna do a front flip off the diving board!" And I did. And then I did an extra turn and I belly flopped. Everyone in the pool came to check on me. Lifeguards, other kids, other parents, people in the change room an hour later. Whoa, you're the girl from the diving board. Are you all right?
Well, I hit the water pretty hard, and I literally prayed to Jesus that he wouldn't let me surface again. But other than this crippling shame I'm feeling right now, I think I'll be all right. Thanks.
The only lesson I learned from that one was that I am not born to do front flips. That was, oh my God. I still want to die thinking about that. But I mean, 10 years between embarrassing moments is not too bad of a track record, so I'll take it. Those are the lessons I've learned in the past decade. Don't believe everything you feel, think before you speak, and maybe just learn to laugh it off every once in a while. And don't go swimming. If you would like to watch real time my next embarrassing moment, I'm sure it will be documented somewhere, and you can find me down below on Pinterest or Instagram. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and click subscribe for more videos on self-development and personal growth. Eventually, some financial education as well. My name is Sarah, and as this channel is Sarah Refined, we're gonna avoid front flips and saying weird things to children. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Oh, the fan came on. He shot me how to shoot. Oh. We drive to the barista shop. Don't forget to give, that's so aggressive. Oh my gosh.